We are excited to introduce the first FORT Pro Series product available, the FORT Endpoint Controller. It is the newest addition to the FORT Robotics control platform safety solutions and represents the first device in our Pro Series device ecosystem. Using an endpoint controller, command the fleet to control known risks. Stop the fleet at scale, including sending safety commands to up to 30 machines simultaneously and reliably sending functionally safe commands across any network. Enhance productivity. Protect against security threats with tamper-proof hardware, secure firmware, and trusted communications, and securely configure and manage devices using the FORT Manager cloud platform. And dynamically control machines. Control machines' behavior and customize safety commands beyond just eStop to include things like crawl, rest, fire response, and more. The endpoint controller can be used in many different ways. It can be mounted on a machine as a receiving device, receiving safety and non-safety commands. It also could be mounted in your control center and act as a sending device to send those safety commands to up to 30 machines. For example, you can integrate your endpoint controller with an e-stop button, a light curtain, or other safety device to act as the input to trigger a safety command to be sent through the EPC to all equipment under control simultaneously. Let's jump into a use case that showcases the value behind the endpoint controller's safety commands. Here, an operator is safely controlling a fleet of machines in an open field and responsible for keeping workers and other assets in close proximity safe. Because the endpoint controller can send and receive two different safety commands, the operator can choose between degrees of response and might select crawl mode to slow the machines down for a vehicle or machine driving through the work area. Alternatively, the other command can be utilized to immediately e-stop all machines simultaneously, protecting the hypothetical person or livestock who accidentally wandered into that same work area. During a warehouse emergency such as a fire, the on-site personnel can push a nearby e-stop button wired to an endpoint controller to bring all machines to a complete stop, to prevent them from harming employees exiting the building or rescue workers entering the structure. Alternatively, a custom fire response safety command could instruct those machines to move aside instead of shutting down, clearing the path to those exits. Protecting people when they enter a gated environment is another critical use case. Here, the endpoint controller can be connected to the door sensor or trigger a safety command sent to the machines within that gated area, such that they e-stop or crawl. This allows people to safely move about that area or accessing those machines for maintenance safely. Paired with the endpoint controller is FORT Manager, FORT's cloud-based dynamic robotic control platform. It is your single pane of glass for your robot or machine fleet, used to safely protect, secure, manage, and respond. That dynamic control is accessible in two key ways. This capability can be accessed via our web application and can also be integrated into your existing solution via API. Here's a quick look at the web experience starting in the dashboard, where you can see the number of devices, configurations, users, quick links, and a few calls to action. You also can then look at the list of devices, where you see all of the products that you've activated and are leveraging in your configurations. You can add a new device simply by entering its unique serial number and giving it a nickname, and once added, it appears in the list. That becomes even more exciting though when you build a configuration consisting of many devices and describing how they communicate. Here, we're looking at an EPC to 5 EPCs Wi-Fi configuration. FORT Manager, of course, supports many different communication styles and configuration types, so for more information, please reach out and we're happy to walk you through the detail. Let's dig into the technical specifications details for the endpoint controller. You'll notice the ruggedized enclosure that protects it in the harshest of industrial environments. At the top, the integration port, denoted J1 on the enclosure, is where you integrate the endpoint controller with your machine to send and receive safety and non-safety commands. It has two Ethernet ports. J2 is the management port, which we use to configure and update firmware on this device, and J3 is the primary operations port, used to connect to your operations Ethernet network. The EPC also has 3 other forms of wireless communication. J4 is both Bluetooth Low Energy and Wi-Fi. And for longer range communications, we have J5, the ISM radio port. In the middle, you'll see a nameplate identifying this model, including part and serial number, and a data matrix code to easily scan all the information yourself. To learn more about the FORT Endpoint Controller or any of our products, please visit us at fortrobotics.com. Thanks, and have a great day.